What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. We are out in the field today touring some new build homes with some clients as we speak, and actually Will is right in that model right there giving a tour right now. And I thought this would be the perfect opportunity for me to start the introduction to this video because we're looking to get as close to the mountains for these clients without being in the mountains. And this is something that we get from a lot of you guys, and essentially this is going to be called the Front Range. So in this video, we're going to be diving into all the areas that if you're interested in getting as close to the Front Range as possible, that you should definitely be looking into. Now, Will's gonna keep doing a few more showings with these guys. I'm gonna head back to the office to get on Google Maps to start breaking all of these areas down for you guys. So hang in there, I'll see you guys in just a few. All right, guys, we are back in the office. Let's get right to it. Now, in this video, when we're talking the Front Range, I want to do this a little bit differently, and I want to show you guys some places that we really haven't highlighted a ton, but are awesome places to live right in the Front Range. Now, some of the obvious ones are going to be like Boulder. We've talked about Boulder quite a bit. That is definitely on the Front Range, and it's an amazing place to live. But it's an obvious one. In this video, I want to dive a little bit deeper and show you guys some places that maybe you haven't thought of and some of the benefits to living in those places. So to start off, I want to pick up just where we were on the intro of this video, and that is out in Morrison, Colorado. Now, a lot of you guys may have heard of Morrison, or maybe you haven't because it is just such a small city, but it is most known for Red Rocks Amphitheater. All right, now Red Rocks is one of the most popular music venues in the entire world. As much as I hate to say it, I've only been to one concert at Red Rocks, and I've lived here for 20 something years at this point, so definitely something I got to get better at. But it is an incredible music venue. It's an incredible place to go work out. I've worked out there a bunch. I just haven't gone to see a lot of concerts there. It's open to the public too. People go there and hike, and it's a very, very, very hot place to go all times of the year here in Colorado. Now, as far as Morrison itself, the reason it's unique and the reason I'm so excited to feature it today is because there is a brand new community out there called Red Rocks Ranch. All right, now let's head over to the map, and I'm going to show you guys where this is and some really unique things about this community and why it might be of interest to you. All right, now we're over here on Google Maps. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of context as far as where everything is sitting right now. Okay, so obviously we have Denver right here. As we start coming west towards the mountains, we're going to hit Lakewood, and then we've actually got Littleton right down here as well. It's not popping up the label, but all of this, there we go. All of this is going to be Littleton right here. Now, in regards to the Front Range, let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. The Front Range is going to be this entire range where it goes from tan to green. All right, anywhere you see the green, that's going to be where you're starting to get into the mountains. So you can see, Boulder, Longmont, Fort Collins, and the Front Range actually runs all the way up into Wyoming. And then it's going to come down all the way down to Colorado Springs and continues down south. So the area that we're going to stay focused on today is south of Boulder, north of Colorado Springs, and this would primarily be what we would consider the Denver metro area Front Range. All right. Now, one thing that we like to tell people is that, hey, if you're looking to move to Colorado, a lot of people want to move towards the mountains, right? Or sometimes into the mountains. And we just make it very clear that from here to here, it goes 0 to 100 real fast in the sense of the weather is going to be different. The maintenance on your house is going to be different. Here in Colorado, when it snows and we get a lot of snow, it's going to be melted in a day or two and you're back to business as normal, usually just a day or so. And then the sun comes out, melts it all off the streets, good to go. In the mountains, it's not necessarily the case, all right? So don't even feel that you need to go all the way to the mountains around Breckenridge or Blackhawk or Idaho Springs in order to get that sort of mountain weather. It quite literally happens as soon as you enter. All right, now let's dive into where Red Rocks Ranch is. Now, a major landmark here that I want to point out is this highway right here that is running up north and south. Let me get out my handy dandy marker here. So this right here is going to be 470. 470 is a very, very popular road. We're here on the west side of town. It's going to go north-south highway. I shouldn't call it a road. It's a highway. And then over here, it's going to loop all the way down through Highlands Ranch. And it's going to go all the way out east here on the bottom of the screen, as you can see, out to the airport. All right. Now, once we cross over here past I-25, 470 is going to continue, and it's going to take you out east and then all the way up north to the airport. This portion of it is a toll road, so heads up there, but it is worth it. There's never any traffic on it. You're going to go fast. It's great. On the west side of I-25 here, it is free, but they do have a toll lane option in case you want to do that. So basically, you've got this big horseshoe that 470 is going to make here. It's going to be a very, very popular road that you're going to be on quite a bit. So I always like pointing that out so you guys have some good context as far as the roads out here and what you're going to be on a lot. And especially if you come here to look at homes or vacation, it's important that you try these highways that are going to be a part of your daily life if you're out living here. Finally, let's dive into Red Rocks Ranch. Now, Red Rocks Ranch is going to be right here just on the east side of 470. What I love about this area here, I'm actually going to jump over to Google Maps or Google Earth and show you guys, is that you are by so much nature. Now, what I mean by that is you've got Bear Creek Lake Park here, which I believe this is actually Bear Creek Lake. Down here, let's see, yes, Soda Lake. So these are interesting. You'll see people that are wakeboarding on this lake. I think you can wakeboard on both of these. They'll actually have like training over here, and then you can come and wakeboard over here. There's actually a little like beach and stuff. So kind of cool there. And then of course it's surrounded by trails. You've got Bear Creek Park over here, Bear Creek Lake. You're going to have trails that go all around this. You've got a golf course over here. You've got other lakes that are over here. Morrison Lake, which is giant. This is all getting into Lakewood / Littleton. I guess the name Lakewood makes sense, right? So this is all getting into Lakewood and Littleton. And honestly, when we went to go look at these homes here in Red Rocks Ranch, I was surprised to see a Morrison address because the Morrison that I knew was always over here. I just always thought of Morrison for Red Rocks, right? And there's like some little old homes that are over here. In a moment, I'll show you the little downtown area. But I didn't know that there was any new builds in Morrison until we really started doing some research for these clients. I'm like, oh man, Red Rocks Ranch. That's a really cool place that popped up. So let me show you guys a little bit of the landscape here, and then we will go into some of these specifics with the builder and the types of homes that are going to be out here. All right, now check this out here, guys. So we got a nice little shot here. Now, one interesting thing that I want to point out about Red Rocks Ranch is the fact that this is a new build community is extremely rare. Why is that? Because like I mentioned in the intro, the homes that are on the west side of town that are near the foothills and the Front Range here, that area was developed first. I always call that's like the equivalent to our beachfront property out here. They started out there because everyone wanted to be by the mountains, and then they kind of start building out east and down south and up north. That's why you'll primarily see a lot of the new builds on that north, south, and east area, because there's not a whole lot of places for new builds that are up this close to the mountains. So by far, that is one of the most unique things about Red Rocks Ranch here. And let me give you guys just some perspective here. Look how close you are to the foothills and the Front Range. It is absolutely incredible that you've got all these lakes that are around here. And this is quite literally your view from the neighborhood. You cannot get any closer to the mountains. And if we zoom in here just a little bit more, again, here's Red Rocks Ranch. If we zoom in just a little bit more, you're going to see here Red Rocks. So this is Red Rocks Amphitheater just on the other side of this big hill right here, which is probably a good thing because I might get a little loud for concerts and stuff, but all of this is going to do a great job blocking that. Now here, again, the views here are spectacular. So look at how you've got Red Rocks there, and then it overlooks downtown Denver. And this is really cool when you're actually at a concert at Red Rocks. Your views of downtown Denver right here are just absolutely incredible. It's very, very cool. During the summertime, if you guys are ever in town, every Saturday they have what's called yoga on the rocks. You go up there, it's like, I don't know, maybe 6:37 in the morning, and this entire amphitheater will be full of, right here, will be full of yoga mats and people, I mean, from top to bottom. And it's very cool because you get to see the sunrise here from the east while you're doing yoga, surrounded by all this cool nature. Very, very cool thing. So I'll stop getting all my hippie stuff here and get back to business with Red Rocks Ranch. This is where it is. One thing I do want to point out to you guys, I was a little concerned with it being this close to 470 because 470, again, is a very, very popular road that everyone takes coming in and out of the mountains, even just people living and working. It's a very busy road. You know, if you're on these homes on this backside, you're definitely going to be able to hear some highway traffic. Some of the ones that we were looking at, we were more over in this area, which is more developed now, and you couldn't hear it at all. You could see the highway, but you couldn't hear it at all. Hey, if that's something important to you where you just don't want to be that close to the highway, there are plenty of homes that are around this area that, I mean, just right over here. Look, you've got all these other homes right here that they're not brand new builds, but they're plenty new. And I mean, you're just a few hundred yards away from this other community. So there are a ton of options out here. Now, one important thing is a lot of these addresses are going to be either Lakewood or Littleton. Like that's how close, you can change from Morrison over to another city. So if this is an area that is intriguing to you, but maybe you just don't want to be this close to the highway, then any of these other homes are going to be a good option for you. Now, let's jump over here to the builder's site. So the primary builder out here right now is Lennar. And they're a very popular builder out here in Colorado, but you guys can see some real-time drone footage of some of the types of homes that they have out here. They have some single-family homes that are just very close, almost patio homes. And then these are more just traditional new build homes. A lot of these are going to back to some of this open space that you see right here, which is really nice. Giant homes. You've got a lot of 3-car garages. We've got some clients under contract right now on a home just like that. But again, look at the views and stuff. Now, this is also really good because you can see the highway over here. So this will give you guys some perspective as far as that goes. Now, one last thing I want to point out before we move on is right over here, you're going to see this Bandimere Speedway. Okay, now this was an iconic place in Colorado where they would do drag racing and just all sorts of cool just anything with motors they were doing here at Bandimere Speedway. An iconic place. And as of just a couple of months ago, they actually shut it down. I don't quite know what they're going to be doing with this space quite yet. But if you're looking up Red Rocks Ranch and you come across Bandimere and you're a little concerned about motor noise or anything like that, Bandimere is no longer. I am gonna have to find out though what they're going to replace there because, man, a lot of people were upset when Bandimere shut down. Now let's jump over to downtown Morrison just to show you guys that real quick. And there's not a whole ton to see here. However, it is a really cute little area. So I definitely want to dive in and show you guys. Now, you can see some of these homes here. These are like homes that I thought all were in Morrison, right? Until I came across that new build community. You guys can see it's like, man, a lot of older style homes are kind of nestled here in the mountains, and there typically just wasn't a whole lot going on. Let's go ahead and jump down here to the main street though. And I'll show you guys the cute little downtown area. So this is it. It's kind of like your typical just little mountain town, downtown strip. You've got a couple like mom and pop shops, a little Mexican food place. The scenery is gorgeous anywhere you are in Morrison. And you've got a lot of like just cool little like this exotic imports place. There's some cool breakfast places. You've got this burger and ice cream place that kind of feels like you're in like Andy Griffith, like Mayberry, right? So very old town feel. It's very, very cute and quaint. These places will get super busy when there's concerts going on at Red Rocks. And then you keep going down this road and you're going to be heading into Red Rocks at that point. So this is it. This is the little downtown. Morrison is the perfect blend of cute, quaint, old town feel while getting a new build home if you're looking at a place like Red Rocks Ranch. So many unique things about Morrison, guys. We hadn't talked about it yet, so I was super excited to talk about it today. All right, guys, before we move on to the next one, I've got to remind you that we are licensed real estate brokers. And as much as we like making these videos, we love more to help you with your real estate needs. So whether it's Red Rocks Ranch or anywhere else on the Front Range or anywhere else in Colorado, call, text, or email that number below. We'll be happy to help you out. But with that being said, let's get right into the next one. All right, moving right along, we are going to head straight north on 470. We're going to check out one of my favorite places just to go spend some time with the family, and it's also a great place to live. That's going to be Golden, Colorado. Now, let's jump over to our map here. I will show you exactly where we are sitting here. So let's zoom in a little bit. We're going to give a little context. So, all right, so you've got 470 cutting up north and south here, right? And then you've got I-70 that's coming out of Denver. And it's going to go straight out west. And this is what's going to take you to every single ski resort that's out there. It's going to take you all the way out to Utah, then all the way to Vegas. So you're really, really close to I-70, which makes it extremely easy to get to the mountains or even get out to the airport. Because if you just take it straight east here, it's going to take you all the way out to DIA. You may feel that, hey, you're out here a little bit in Golden. You're really not. You're close to Boulder. You're close to Denver. You've got quick access to the mountains. You've got quick access out to the airport. So this is a great option for a lot of people. Now, Golden is a historic town. All right, let's come over to Google Maps. Golden is a historic town. It was one of the first mining towns that we had here. It's also a college town. You've got the Colorado School of Mines here for smart kids, right? It's a college town, but it doesn't feel like a college town necessarily, right? Like Boulder, parts of Boulder, we're real close to the school. It feels like a college town. Golden, the college campus, obviously feels like a college campus, but as soon as you go outside of that, it quite literally feels just like a cute, historic downtown area. Now, there's always so many fun things going on here pretty much every single weekend for the families. So you can go right down the main street of the downtown here. Let me go zoom in here on the street for you guys and we'll peruse it. And we're showing some good drone footage of this right now. Very historic feeling. Again, similar to Morrison, except way bigger. Woody's Pizza is phenomenal, by the way. Definitely recommend it. When you come down here, guys, it's cool. You've got like some old school buildings. You've got some new apartments and some new restaurants and things like that. It's got a really, really good feel to it. They'll do, festivals and farmers markets and things like that down here. Little touristy places. So my family and I will come here quite a bit just to kind of walk the streets, get outside, maybe go on a little hike or something. Just enjoy Golden for what it is and small town feel and real close to the mountains. Like I said, there's a ton of good things about Golden. And before I got into real estate 7 years ago, this is the only part of Golden that I ever went and explored. It wasn't really until, we started getting some clients out here that I really learned, man, there's a lot more to Golden than what just meets the eye. All right, now the types of homes are going to be a little bit tricky out here because you're not going to find very many new builds, okay? Like I was saying before, everything was developed out here on the west side early on, so you're not seeing a whole lot of new builds out here. However, you do have some newer homes in some specific pockets, which I'm going to show you. Now, if you are looking at these homes here, in this kind of downtown Golden area, they're going to be very old, some early 1900s, maybe even late 1890s for some of them. I'd say a lot of them might be 1920 to 1930, but they're old homes with small yards and stuff. A lot of people have taken very good care of them, which is great, but older homes. So let me zoom out here a little bit. And if we head just a little bit north of Golden, once we pass 58 right here, once you pass north of this, we start getting into some newer developments that are up here, all right? And then you're going to see this big rock here. This is called Table Mountain, okay? It's a big flat mountain. And there's homes that are on the west side of it. And then up on the north side here are some really cute homes. Let's go ahead and jump into some of these mid 2000s builds, as in maybe like, 2015-ish, 2010-ish. But man, look how, just green everything is. To me, this is a really good blend of newer homes, but mature neighborhood. And that's one of the things with, new builds, guys, is you don't have these big trees and all this mature landscaping that's all around because the neighborhood just hasn't been around long enough. Here in these neighborhoods, man, you've got all that. You've got the newer homes. You've got the real mountain views. Those are spectacular. And you even got bigger lots. Like you can see, we have a decent sized front yard, decent sized backyard, decent space in between the homes. So this is going to be a really, really good option for you guys that want a little more space, but a traditional neighborhood feel. And you're okay not having a brand new home, but the views and stuff that you get out here are just absolutely spectacular. Now, the one downside is that there's not a lot of room in Golden. You've got this pocket right here. You've got some of these homes on here that are on real big lots, and a lot of these are more custom homes. And then really you come back down here into Golden and you've got this pocket right here that is similar to the one that I just showed you. But then you come into downtown historic Golden and it's all like historic homes again. The issue is the town is so small. The newer home communities, they're just very limited. So you do see things tend to go for a premium out here, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's not as expensive as Boulder by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a lot of these homes don't come up very often. So when they do, we got to jump on it. All right. So Golden, guys, I wanted to throw it on the list here because it is cute. It's quaint. It has that old town feel. You do have some bigger lots in some of these neighborhoods because they are a little bit more mature. And at a minimum, you're at least going to be coming here to spend some time when you're coming to visit because it is a great place just to go and go on a hike, go walk to downtown, go have some good pizza and have a great weekend out of it. All right, now next up on the list, I'm going to get a little bit of a hard time from some viewers, I'm sure, because they're going to say this isn't the Front Range, but it's close enough. And I want to talk about it here because you guys should check it out. But this is Backcountry in Highlands Ranch. All right, now Backcountry is a neighborhood within Highlands Ranch, and Highlands Ranch is composed of a bunch of neighborhoods. There's 4 primary districts in Highlands Ranch, and there are 4 different HOAs. If you live anywhere in Highlands Ranch, you can access any of those community centers and things like that, which is cool. Each one has kind of a different feature. So like one has a rock wall, one has archery and things like that. So it's cool. Highlands Ranch does some great things for families and communities, but there's one neighborhood in Highlands Ranch that is my particular favorite, and that is called Backcountry. Now, why is Backcountry my favorite? Well, allow me to show you. All right, so let me show you where Backcountry is here on Highlands Ranch, because this is one of the things that makes me love it the most. All of this is Highlands Ranch, okay? Big city, very, very developed, and this is all broken up into those 4 quadrants that we were just talking about. On the very south side is Backcountry right here. So this whole pocket right here, let me go ahead and outline it for you. This is all going to be Backcountry. All right, but what's unique about this particular area right here is that with it being on the south side, you get those amazing views that you just don't get from other places in Highlands Ranch. So this is facing west, obviously. Here's Backcountry right here. And, you know, when we come down, you guys, like, I know this isn't on the Front Range, like I was saying, but you have all of the Front Range views here that you're looking for. On top of that, Backcountry is just a little more elevated than the rest of Highlands Ranch. I'm not sure if you can really tell from this perspective, but you get quite a bit of elevation as you're, yeah, this is a little better here. You get quite a bit of elevation as you start coming through Backcountry here, and you start climbing up and up and up, and there are some gorgeous custom homes that are in there. Now, as we were talking about new builds in this video, there are no current builds happening in Backcountry. It is all developed right now, but what you can find at the top of Backcountry are some amazing custom homes. And we're showing you guys some of those right now. It's, you know, this is one of those neighborhoods that I like to go, and it's my vision board, right? When you're driving and seeing what could be, these are the types of homes that I love to go see. You just cannot beat the views that you have off the back deck of some of these homes when you're just overlooking Roxborough Park, and you get to see the Foothills and all the way down to Pikes Peak and Mount Evans. There are some absolutely stunning views that you're going to have down there. And let me jump in to show you guys, drive through some of the streets that we're going to have here so you guys can see what these homes are going to be like. One thing that's worth noting with Backcountry is that it is a gated community. Okay, there's a couple entrances into the community here, but it is one of those places where I like to emphasize, even though it is a gated community, it doesn't have this overly prestigious hoity-toity feel to it. In Colorado, we don't really get that anyway. People would rather show off their lifted trucks and their Jeeps and, you know, the Maseratis and stuff. We got plenty of Maseratis and Lamborghinis out here, but, you know, people are usually showing off their trucks, so it's kind of funny how it works. But you guys can see there's some really big homes out here. Some stunning homes. This is absolutely gorgeous. The views on this deck got to be insane. And you will find smaller lots like you'll typically have, you know, out in a lot of these new build areas. Backcountry particularly has tons of pine trees, and it's very Colorado when you're driving through it. You know, when I just showed you that neighborhood in Golden, it was very more, you know, traditional feeling, very green and, you know, oak trees and stuff, beautiful. But the landscaping in Backcountry is very piney and mountainy. It's all intentional. It's this kind of like mountain escape that you have in the middle of Highlands Ranch, which to me is one of my absolutely favorite things. I love being able to be close to things, but also feel like I'm far away, right? Me living in Elizabeth, it's very similar. But, you know, you'll have some of these types of homes out here that are just breathtaking. So these are some of those more custom ones that I was talking about. Price ranges out here in Backcountry will range anywhere from about $1 million up to as much as you want to spend. It is a very, not hard to get into. It's a popular neighborhood. What's funny, on the last 4 homes that we've helped clients purchase out of Backcountry, the sellers that we purchased from, they were moving within Backcountry, so they weren't even leaving. And that was the last 4 in a row. It was that exact same situation. So it's kind of one of those things that, hey, once people get into the neighborhood, they want to stay, and it's for good reason. Another thing worth pointing out here, let's come down here to the awesome pool and community center that they have. So this is going to be at the very back side of the entire neighborhood. It sits right on top. And in here, you've got great community center. It's, let me see if we can go down there on the street. Yeah, we can. Perfect. You can do all sorts of activities out here. The back deck on this place is absolutely incredible. You have a really good pool over here for families and stuff like that to go and, cool down during the summertime. Behind here, you got this little amphitheater for summer shows. But then all of these trails, guys, these are mountain bike trails, they're hiking trails, and these are all dirt. And look how far these go. So this is literally in your backyard, where you can just go and there's trails for days. And when I say mountain biking, it's like legit mountain biking. You're not physically on a mountain, but it's some challenging trails here. And all of this is just fully accessible to you. And guys, this is the trade-off in Colorado. It's like, yeah, you'll get a smallish yard, right? Living in these areas. However, man, if it backs up to these trails and stuff, I will take that all day long over a backyard that I'm just going to have to mow. And then, of course, not to mention the schools in Highlands Ranch are absolutely phenomenal. It's Douglas County School District, which is always in the top 5, a lot of times in the top 3 of the best school districts that we have here out in the state. So there's so much to love about Highlands Ranch, particularly Backcountry. But I hope this was helpful for you guys today between, Morrison and Golden and this neighborhood within Highlands Ranch, Backcountry. I hope it gave you guys a little bit more perspective as far as how much of the Colorado mountain feel we can get without needing to buy in the mountains, and we can still be close to all the amenities and everything like that we're looking for, great school districts and everything. Like always, if you guys would like to learn more about these areas or any other areas in Colorado, the number popping up on the screen, give us a phone call, text message, or email. Be happy to help you out. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.